Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, class. This is Professor Coyote. Welcome you back to our Let's Play of Civilization 6. And bully for you for coming back for our American run, led by, of course, the ever charismatic Teddy Roosevelt. Now, something we want to do before we get into the action is something I actually want to do for at least every other video or three. Because the point of a lot of my Let's Plays is I am doing a lot of these historical ones. I mean, being a history teacher myself, it definitely has a grand appeal to play these historical simulations, even if the simulation part kind of goes out the window once you start playing the game. But certainly, I would like to go over some historical facts and concepts, especially related to what we're playing. And so today, we're going to continue our talk on Teddy Roosevelt's, the Roosevelt corollary here. Remember a couple videos ago, I was talking about the corollary itself and why it gives +5 to combat strength. But today we're going to move on to the next point on it. It's +1 appeal to all tiles in a city with a national park. Now, this, of course, is one of President Roosevelt's most lasting legacies, the national park system. He was a big conservationist, and while he didn't create the national park system, he certainly expanded upon it. The first national park, of course, is Yellowstone. That was created under the Grant administration back in 1870. But President Roosevelt here did help expand or create at least 15 national parks during his tenure. One of the most famous ones that he worked on, now he didn't create, but he did expand, was Yosemite. The Yosemite Valley there in Central California, where he was able to build upon it by getting a lot of land, working with John Muir, the famous Californian conservationist that created the Yosemite National Park to begin with, and was able to get that basically set aside. Another one that he created on was Crater Lake, in something that is definitely near and dear to my heart, being an Oregonian. And the reason that Teddy did this is because he always grew up in the outdoors. That was, you have the famous story of him going to North Dakota to better himself and sort of becoming a cowboy and working on the land. So it gave him this deep, rich love of the land itself and its resources. Now, of course, President Roosevelt wasn't the kind of conservationist you think of nowadays, an environmentalist who he didn't want to set these aside to absolutely preserve so that they would never be used. But his form of conservationism was still radical and very progressive for the turn of the 20th century. He of course wanted to keep lands like Yellowstone and Crater Lake for future generations to be able to enjoy and use. And that's kind of the highlight, was use. He did have the idea that he wanted to be able to still use the forests, but at least in a way that they would still be around for future generations. He saw things like the decimation of the buffalo and a lot of pristine forests just cut down because the idea was that it would always be there. And President Roosevelt didn't like that. He didn't like that idea. So he started these national parks for everybody. He had that idea that the government should hold these in a trust, essentially. They would still, of course, be in the hands of the American people for us to use. And that's really one of his big issues, not issues, but legacies, I would say, is that national park system. And for basically all intents and purposes, one of the beginnings of the environmental movement. to keep these lands and resources for future generations, so we can all be able to use them, not just temporarily for however long they last while they get strip mined or clear cut or what have you. With that being said, let us transition from happy talk of national parks and conservation and, you know, cute little bunnies, and we're gonna move on to our conquest here of Sumeria. Now, if you remember the last couple times, we've definitely been trying to get this going. It does take a little bit in Civ 6 to get a big enough force to really wreak havoc. And that's what we're going to do here, is we're going to wreak havoc. We're going to... We should be able to actually get the war going this video. Because it's just a few turns for most of this to get in position. Now, with that, going on, let's look at everything else first. We've got Boston is going to have a granary next turn. Washington, we're going to fix the holy site that got ravaged during the initial conflict. And Philadelphia is going to have its settler in 5 turns. Probably what we're going to do in Boston is we're going to see... Okay, we don't have the money to do a builder. So we're probably going to build a builder. Excuse me. So we can improve these 3 tiles. The stone, the sheep, and the silk. Should be able to improve that. In fact, no, we did improve the silk, I believe. No. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway. So we'll work on that. And in the meantime, let's set up our armies here. Okay, so let's go on to the next turn. Actually, wait, I think we do have a scout. Yes, we're sending him out to the northwest area here, because it's probably another... Wow, I cannot talk right now. It's probably another continent, and we need to see what we can do with it. Alright. So let's move on here. We've got the missionaries going. Probably get Philadelphia turned into Confucianism before we get out here. Okay. So they've moved on. We can move on as well. We're going to keep healing. Alright, so that's the main of our melee force. We got the secondary force here. They're all fortified. The archers will be moving into position there. And battering round there. We've got this archer who's going to be moving up to back up, but they may not get there in time. Do much more than replenish these archers. But that's fine. Alright. We need a production for Boston. As I said, I believe we're going to do a builder. Builder to come in 10 turns. Let's see if there's any way we can speed that up. Well, we're already taking as many gears as we can. Looks like they're going to spread out into the sheep tile next about 12 turns. That'll be good. Alright. So let's get going with that. Now, as you can see here, while other things move around, Sumeria is still down to a military strength of 16. It's almost a fait accompli that we can take on Uruk. So it's just they're really cracking that garrison, which is why we wanted to have the battering ram come in. Okay. Now it's our turn, so we're going to have this warrior get killed by a killed by a scout. How ignoble of a death that is. The best we can do is really just fortify until everything's in position. Now, it should be, looks like, 2 turns to get over there. And Sumeria, there is the only piece of hardware that Sumeria has, the 1 war cart. we'll probably be seeing that come back. Yeah, it's at a... it is at a 24, but it's still severely limited, so... yeah, we should be able to get that going here. We got 3 turns on that, so let's go to the next turn. I bet that Sumeria is like, wait, I'm sorry? Oh, it looks like Germany has moved to the medieval era. We'll get there pretty soon on our own. We've got a 3 and 4 turns for our next ideas. That is tempting, but maybe if that scout comes up, we'll give Valinus the time it needs to kind of take care of that. Meanwhile, we'll have everything keep moving up as it's supposed to. Those guys will fortify, because they'll be bombarding into the main capital anyway. And we get 45 gold for that, for our troubles on that barbarian camp, so that's nice. In fact, what we'll probably end up doing is we'll buy the builder and then move this to ancient walls instead. Yeah. Okay. Because Boston being front line here, you know, we can always move the ancient walls off later. Yeah, so we'll see about that. So we'll probably end up doing a builder later, but I want to just get that going right now because Boston needs to start carrying its weight, basically. Yeah. Okay. So that is that for Boston. Washington is 3 steps away from fixing its holy site, and Philly will have its settler. Now, I believe, let's double check. We might have them go down between Hatsuta and Amsterdam. Although, now that there's rice and crab and oranges, they might be better suited up here. They'll be against the river still. Or we can have them over here. I mean, there's a good number of tiles. I do want to keep them generally within this kind of area for protection, because Germany, being militaristic, is eventually going to probably want to take us out. So right here might be our best bet. All right. Meanwhile, Samaria continues worrying itself to death. But I was going to say, I am trying to make this not just my commentary on the Let's Play. I do want to, add a couple of things. So that's why we're going to probably do that that historical fact on the historical Let's Plays. Just either it'll be about, obviously, what we're playing, or something that's just I think it'd be interesting for people to learn about, or at least to listen to. Okay, so we've got some barbarian horsemen coming up, which is kind of annoying. Alright, and we've got these archers who are now almost ready to come into place. Alright, so next turn we will have our war with Sumeria, and it is their fault. They started the whole mess. Alright, so what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to denounce them, because what that does is that gives us basically an equivalent of a casus belli, because if we just make a surprise war, we get kind of what the equivalent of aggressive expansion penalties. It'll kind of tick off the neighbors. We don't really want to do that. I should have been actually doing that as I was moving up. So in 5 turns, we'll be able to declare war. So we might actually make that better to take care of the barbarians and have that scout move up. Keep an eye on the war cart there. Make just some better positioning. Okay. Everything else just sort of chills out. Okay. And our trade route to Amsterdam. I don't know if we was going to Hong Kong or Amsterdam. Oh, they were going to Hong Kong. Okay, so the trade route to Hong Kong just about finished up. In fact, it did finish up.
Invincibility lies in the defense. The possibility of victory in the attack.
Okay, so we get a couple of policies off of this defensive tactics moving in. We've got bastions, which gives just city strength and range strength for the city itself, and production for defensive buildings, which we haven't quite got defensive buildings yet, but we'll see how that goes. What we're going to do is, just in case, because we've got the gold and there's no problem there, we're going to switch over to this bastions for right now, because Sumeria is going to probably try to attack us, or the barbarians are going to try to attack us. Speaking of the barbarians, apparently they decided, hey, look at this battering ram! Let's attack the battering ram! Yeah, whatever. We'll bombard the barbarians so they don't go out. I guess because there's a mountain there. Okay. Tell you what. Oh, that's not good. Okay. Well, I guess it's a good thing that we haven't actually declared war yet, because the barbarians are probably going to mess up our battering ram. Joy of joys. Alright. So while the archer's there, even though they're probably going to get hurt. And we're similar now. Let's see. Let's look this over really quickly, because it's got wheat, spice. There's rice and crabs and oranges and spice. And there's Kilimanjaro. I think we were thinking of going up to Kilimanjaro. Thought we were thinking of going to Kilimanjaro. You know what? Let's have them go probably for these wheat and spice ones then. Now, it looks like it doesn't really ease Philadelphia much. So we're going to see what we can do. They recommend a trader, which actually I think that might be where we go. We'll build a trader there. We'll choose a new civics. It's recommending military training, because we haven't gotten quite there yet. It gives a couple of military boosts of raiding and veterancy, which helps with encampment districts. We could go for recorded history, which is, of course, something that is kind of a warm and fuzzy there. But I don't have 2 campus districts. And so, you know, we're going to go to military training for right now. It's only 11 turns. So we'll see how that goes. Ironworking will pop next turn, so we'll be able to advance in tech a little bit. Well, won't be able to convert any of these warriors, but at least we can start producing a second wave of swordsmen. And let's see. So, yep, as I thought, Philadelphia converted over to Confucianism. I don't know where those missionaries disappeared to, but It won't matter so much on the religious victory because we're going to... I wouldn't doubt if we actually become the hub of Confucianism after we wipe out Sumeria. So we'll go for that. And alright, let's take one more turn. See how it goes from there. Probably... Oh, wow, they spent their hard resources on a scout. That was smart. And oh, apparently...
The Lord made us all out of iron. Then he turns up the heat to forge some of us into steel.
Huh, Marie Osmond. That kind of sounds like a really militaristic thing coming out of Marie Osmond. Anyway, so it looks like the barbarians don't care because... Great, they don't care. We'll get a minor victory out of it. What if we can step back and then fire? What we can do is we can have a scout fight. What the heck? Let's have a scout fight. This one will take a little bit of damage, but I don't like the barbarians anyway, because they're barbarians. And we did more damage to them, so great. And the big problem is, of course, okay, I see here. That's not a scout. That's a settler. They're trying to escape their inevitable demise. But with that, we're going to put a pin in this. We'll choose a research. Sorry, I know I had been saying that this would be the video that Sumeria falls and gets turned into a big pile of rubble. It looks like they're still trying to push celestial navigation on us. But we'll pick... Let's pick construction. That'll give us terracotta army and ability to build a siege tower. And we will put a pin in here after... Always that one extra thing we need to do. It's like we finished the holy site, so it's holy again. So let us build... Let's finally build a wonder. Let's go after our first wonder. So let's do hanging... Well, no, I don't really want to do hanging gardens, because all that does is just increases growth. We don't need to increase the growth. Our growth is actually needing to get stunted a little bit, to be perfectly honest. At least until we get some more cities. So, why don't we build... It's recommending one of these 3 districts. Can we build another district? Thought we were full on districts. Okay, so we can build one more district, so let's build... Alright, let's build the entertainment complex here in Washington. For that, we shall bulldoze that site, because it's kind of redundant. And with that, we will save here. I hope you have a very excellent rest of your day. And with that, class dismissed.